Hello and welcome to Arcade Couch's best place to chill with friends, get gaming goodness each and every Monday. My name's Dylan Blight, and joining me on the couch, a lonesome couch this week, Ashley Hobley.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here with, just the two of us, like the best content here at Explosion.
I was gonna say make a joke about it being the most content, but yeah, the best content.
Both accurate.
Yeah, both are accurate. The most content and the best content of Explosion.com has me and Ash. Got him. Yeah. Got him good. This week on the show, got a bunch of, I was about to say bunch, it's not really. Got some Starfield details, talk about that. The EA Play has been cancelled. Got a few previews to talk about, and I've been playing Pokemans, which I'll talk about at the end of the show. Been playing something not for review, that's right. So catch me talking about that. What a hot topic.
You should also, people should go check out a Horizon Forbidden West spoilercast we did.
Oh, that's right. That's timeline
came out after last week's episode. Yeah,
I get confused. That was after last week's episode. Yeah, check out last. It will be the last episode or the last podcast, not episode, but the last podcast in this feed. Arcade Couch is a Horizon Forbidden West spoilercast. Me and Ash go over the game full spoilers. So check that out if you've finished the game, of course. Or
Dylan gives one hell of a recap of the entire game. So.
I mean, I try. I feel like I did all right. Yeah. Let us know. I feel like I hit the core details, wasn't as bad as trying to recap Kingdom Hearts 3 or something, but it was getting there. That was something else. Reviews and previews. I got 2 previews that I've posted last week. Firstly, track To Yomi. That's right. Good. I've played Track To Yomi. If you don't know, this was the game that showed up at the State of Play 3 weeks ago.
The one that didn't involve the boy wizard.
The one that didn't involve the boy wizard. Well, actually, it didn't either way. So, yeah.
I mean, there were boy wizards in the other game.
I suppose so, yeah. But this is the heavily Kurosawa-inspired action adventure game. It's like a side-scrolling action game that has had this very cool aesthetic and style, and ever since it first got announced at the Devolver Showcase last year, been all about it. Couldn't wait to find out how it is. Now, we've known, based on the trailers, that it looks good. It looks awesome.
It does.
Great style. Can't wait to play it. Does it play good? How's it play? I can tell you.
Is it too hard?
Well, that's the first thing, because this is the thing we teased about.
Is it Samurai Sifu?
No.
Is it Sifu with lots of swords?
Let me hit with the first big important bit of information. There are multiple difficulty options in Track To Yomi.
What a crazy notion in 2022.
What a concept. So yes.
Put it on the box.
And there was
put it on the poster.
There was even a locked difficulty, which I assume unlocks after you beat the game, like an even harder
super easy mode.
No, super hard mode. I think it was called Ronin or some shit. Probably I think is what it was called. But I played on normal. I chucked it on easy for a hot minute to see the difference, and there is a difference. I will say. So here's the game. The game is. For the core part, it is a side-scrolling action game. There is some room for exploration at times. There are moments where you can go off the beaten path or explore little areas and you can find secrets and things. But as far as combat goes, it starts relatively simple, or what feels simple. So you have, at the start of the game, I unlocked a few combos in the hour I played, a couple different ones. But the core thing you have at the start of the game, it's simple as, if you press, I'm playing with the Xbox controller on PC, but if you press X, you do stab forward with your katana. If you hold down with the analog stick or up with the analog stick and then you press X to attack, you're going to swipe upwards, up at the torso, or you'll swipe down at the bottom of their legs. Most of the time, however, in that first level, most enemies you're taking down fairly easy. Run up to them, XX, they're dead. Next one, XX, they're dead. I'm like, man, this game is easy. I'm thinking this game's a little bit too easy. But then what I sort of clicked to, and I think the idea with the game is, or the concept for the game is that it's going for that sort of, that combat style of, it's not about having big battles. It's simply, if you get in there, you can take your opponent out quickly. But the same can also be said for what happens to you. So if you mess up, if you sort of get overwhelmed, it's only going to take a few strikes for your opponent to take you down. I think when you start the game, you have 4 or 5 lives. So 4 or 5 times you can be struck before you die. And that can happen fairly quickly, especially if you're messing up, even on the some of the normal enemies. So because you have a block, so you can hold a button to block that depletes your stamina bar over time. You can press the same button to, of course, parry. So that's the, your typical sort of action game scenario. But yeah, there was a part, once I got to the second level, because I got to play the first 2 chapters. Once I got to the second level, there was a part where I think it took me maybe 10 tries to clear it. And every time it would only take me to mess up one thing, and suddenly an enemy is like it. And it's also that thing where you can mess up once and someone lands a hit on you, and then it just completely puts you out of all your rhythm, where suddenly you just go to block and you fuck up the parry, and then they hit you again, and then you're like put off because you've lost 2 lives to the first enemy past the checkpoint, and then you're like, fuck this shit. And like one time I just like let someone kill me because I'm like, this is dumb. Like I ain't got time for this shit. I will say the checkpoints are pretty good so far. Apart from that one I'm talking about now, where it seemed like it was the most spaced apart checkpoint. I thought it was going to, like, what was making it hard. However, I actually found a secret area halfway along that had a checkpoint in it. So I was like, oh, exploring actually made it easier, because suddenly if I had died, I was able to come back. And the other thing I've picked up in some secret areas is health upgrades. So like you can take more damage or stamina upgrades. So there's plenty of reasons to want to explore and not just follow the path you're supposed to be going down, because you will find upgrades that make the game easier. Playing on easy, more health or take less damage, bit of both sort of thing. Enemy seemed slightly less aggressive. I'm not sure if that's 100% what the go was, but for the most part, yeah, the combat, at least based off the first 2 levels, not super hard. It's definitely not a Souls game. It's definitely not as hard or complex as Sifu. It's just that thing of it's down to basics, and it simply seems to be about mastering those basics, and you're good. I had one boss fight, which was, it took me a few tries. And I think the first couple times I was just trying to do it slow paced and like counter all of his attacks and get in a few hits, like counter, hit, counter, hit. And I was slowly depleting his health, but then it would only take me to fuck up once, and then suddenly he'd be like, go berserk and just take all my health off me. So then the next time I went in, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try, because I realized I just before picked up a move where I could like run, hold B and run, and like come in with a powerful strike. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to start the fight that way. Half his health gone. I was like, all right, cool story. So now I just like backed off block. So there seems to be multiple ways to take on, like you can play a bit more aggressive and get rewarded for it. And then you can be slow and patient if you're happy with to trust yourself to be able to parry each and every attack. So story-wise, it is, I guess, stereotypical, but I say that in a good way. So the game starts when the character, whose name I can't remember, sorry, but the character you play as is a kid. You're like training with your master. That's like the tutorial, teaches you the combat basics and stuff. Next second, the village is getting invaded. He tells you to stay there. You're like, fuck that shit, I'm a hero. So like you then wander through the town. You take on some of these like raiders, I guess is what you'd call them, as they're coming into the village, and eventually go track down your master, and you have to do like sort of a mini boss fight there, and then your master dies, and then like the time skip forward, and now he's the adult that you see in the trailer, and he's the sort of the way I took it is like he's sort of become the guardian of that place, much like his master was when he was a kid looking after it. And then in that second chapter, you see that a different group of, or they could be related for all I know, but another group of raiders has like come to take your town, and you're trying to protect it. And I don't want to spoil everything that obviously happens, but yeah, the setup, obviously, if you can see in the trailer, is sort of him seeking revenge for stuff that happens, or trying to track down his loved ones. But it is that sort of typical samurai inspired one man versus sort of unsurmountable odds to take down everyone, because he's the much better and wiser fighter, I guess, and often winning because of that. So, I'm very much enjoying it. When the demo or the preview version I've got ended, I was like, fuck. Because I was like, I was enjoying it. Obviously, I just wanted to keep playing. So, yeah, I feel like the excitement has been warranted. I'm very much enjoying it. There's still a lot of stuff seeing in the trailer that dropped at that state of play a couple of weeks ago that I didn't get to see anything of. Like, we were talking about some of the more mythical sort of elements that were seen in that trailer. And yeah, I didn't see an ounce of that. So I don't know what's happening there. So there's still plenty of questions I have about the game. In fact, I feel like I played an hour. It felt like such a small dip my toe barely into the game. Yeah, basically. So, yeah, you've been excited for this one. Am I telling you everything you want to hear? Or?
Yeah. As long as I feel like I can play it and I'm going to progress. That's all that matters. And it's like, I feel like it's going to be a cool story and like filled with cool moments and that kind of stuff. So it sounds like that's what it is. And so I'm keen. So and
you've got the confirmation of difficulties. So
yeah, that's like, if I'll just drop it down. It's like, cool. When's it coming out again?
No release date. Still.
Wait, what?
There's still no release date.
That can't be right.
No, there's still no release date for it. But I mean, if they're sending out having people do previews, I'm going to say soon than later. Like, maybe, hopefully, because I'd find it weird if they're doing previews. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say it's like out in a couple of weeks or anything, but I would say sooner than later if that's the go. But what's the other thing I was going to say? Oh, yeah, the cinematic element too. I don't know if you can see some of that in the trailer, but yeah, it's like it is a side-scrolling game. I'm not side-scroller. Yeah. I'm not talking about Mario, but you are moving, left to right across the screen. When you're doing battles, you are on a direct line too. So if enemies come in from behind you, there's a button to swing around quickly, or you can unlock a move, which I did, so that if you if you press the opposite direction and press attack, they'll do like a swing and automatically turn to face them at that time. Because sometimes enemies will come in at both sides, so you got to sort of be watching it. So it is like you are on a line, like you're following, but there are times where the camera sort of gets cinematic. Like I'm fighting people on a bridge at one point, and the camera's like sort of more down below the bridge, like pointing up to give it like a cinematic flair. And there's a lot of that where it's not your typical just stoic camera sort of just
it's not old school like arcade machine brawlers.
No.
They're just static. Yeah.
No. Yeah. So Track to Yomi is shaping up to be very good. Keep your eye on that one. And maybe we'll have a release date soon. Fucked if I know.
I don't know. Yeah. I was surprised because it was also at the Xbox ID or the Xbox.
They dropped a trailer there. So
but no release date.
Yeah.
Give us it.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't drop one at that, did they? And I completely missed it.
No, I checked it.
No.
There's no release date.
I just double checked, I was like, that'd be crazy if I'd suddenly missed that. But and then the other thing, I won't go too much about this one because obviously if you want to hear more about this one, check out Platinum Explosion on Wednesday because I'll go a bit more in depth there. But I didn't get to get hands-on with this one, but I got to attend an event to check out gameplay of Moss Book 2, which is coming to PlayStation VR. And I'll talk, more about it on Plat, but my thoughts for this one, and the first one did come to Oculus and stuff too, so I would assume this will eventually. They said there's no plans currently, it's just focused on, getting it out the door as is. But my main takeaway from this, if you want to check out my full write-up, is that I went into this going, all right, game, give me a reason to actually care, because at the moment I'm like, I know I'm not using my PSVR. Like you'd have to
I'm not pulling it out. It's too much of it.
I'm not pulling my PSVR. You have to be pretty good. But after attending the event, watching the gameplay, hearing them talk about it and all that sort of stuff, I was like, fuck, I want to play this game. So yeah, at this stage, this would
You never played the first one, right?
No, and that's the thing. I never.
So you can pull it out and play 2 games.
Yeah, so, maybe. I mean, well, I could
play. Is it worth to pull out for 2 games?
I could play the other one on Oculus if I wanted to. Yeah,
just trying to.
True. Yeah, that's something I never actually got around to as much as I always wanted to. I never actually got around to playing the first Moss, even though Thomas Marshall used to yap on about it.
I think it might have been one of the first games we talked about.
It was one of the first things we talked about in Plat, and he was very positive. Everyone was very positive, and I was a big PSVR user, supporter. So it's just one of those things. I never got around to it for whatever reason, but yeah, I reckon this will be the last PSVR game that anyone cares about. Is what it's looking like, and it's a reason to pick it up. I would say based on what I said, but yeah, more on Plat. All right, let's get into this week's news. It's disappointing Kieran's not here to talk about this because it's probably the reason he's not here, to be honest. Press Start has Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's first wave of new tracks are available now. Shannon writes, it was announced last month that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was getting 48 new courses courtesy of a brand new booster course pass as of right now. You can go grab the first 8 tracks. The 8 tracks are Paris Promenade Tour, Code Circuit, what? What did I say?
Promenade.
What did I say?
Promenade.
Oh, I'm adding a little bit of flair, you know what I'm saying? From Mario Kart Tour, Toad Circuit from the 3DS game, Choco Mountain from Nintendo 64 game, Coconut Mall from the Wii game, Tokyo Blur from Tour, Shroom Ridge from the 3DS, Sky Garden from the GBA game, and Ninja Hideaway from Tour. So that is a bunch of new tracks available in the game, and these is just sort of dropped out of nowhere. This is wave 1, of course. You're going to get more over the next 18 months if you have access to the booster pass, which you can buy. It costs $35, or you can sign up for the the
expansion
Nintendo
pass.
Switch expansion thing. Will give you that, plus it'll give you the Animal Crossing, whatever that thing was called, yeah, and then something else. Pokemon or something. I can't remember. There's a few things. Remember when we discussed it and I said, man, when they announced it, I was like, at the moment, I don't care about this Animal Crossing thing particularly too much, as much as I love that game. So it's hard to justify this booster thing. And you've got the whatchamacallit games on there, the 64 games, right?
Yeah.
But now it's getting to the point where I'll probably just buy the booster, the expansion pass. It feels like that's probably the way to go about this, especially since I'm going to play all
probably.
But these dropped out of nowhere, and we did say that Mario Kart Explosion Network Twitch streams would return. We would do a tournament. Now, we have been, I say discussing, I say it's been brought up. It's been brought up today as of recording.
And again, it's conspicuous that
it is conspicuous that
Kieran isn't here.
Yeah.
As soon as the track's dropped, it's like he's trying to get in as quickly as possible, get as much experience as he possibly can.
Yeah.
Learn as much about the new tracks, watch as many other people streaming them to get any tips or anything.
Get tips for races,
because as soon as he actually gets on the track with all the other races, he'll be quickly found out. He'll quickly realize he was a paper champion all along.
Whoa.
He's not going to listen to
this. Sucker. So we will be doing the Mario Kart live Twitch nights will return. We'll be doing a tournament. The tournament's going to run throughout the entirety of these 18 months, though. That's the thing. There will be no winner crown this year. There'll be no winner crown until all these courses are out. And I don't know what the rules are. I think we got to lock them in. But in my mind, there's going to be at least a few goes on the courses here, right? There's 2 tournaments in the game. So there's 8 tracks or whatever. They're split into 2 circuits or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
So I feel like we should do those at least a couple times each, maybe over 2 different nights or whatever. But I would say just keep your eyes peeled. I think we should hopefully get this sorted out, get everyone to, warm up, practice a bit. I mean, we should get this stuff sorted in the next...
making sure Kieran doesn't have the sole advantage.
Yeah. So let's just... I'm thinking, let's say next month would probably be the realistic... because by the time this comes out, it's 23rd.
Because it takes us that long to plan everything, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's literally a week and a half left in a year by the time this drops.
Oh shit!
I don't know if you're aware of that. So, by the time this drops, so yeah, let's say next month Mario Kart will be happening. Twitch.tv/Explosion Network. So make sure you're following our streams over there.
I mean, more important, add Explosion Pod on Twitter. That's probably where you'll find out first.
That's true. Follow that, or
so you can plan your life around it.
Join our Discord, explosionnetwork.com/Discord, because I'm sure we'll post it out there too, and we'll be I'm trying to make something in there to share when we figure out the rules for the leaderboard, because Kieran's apparently going to be a stickler for who's allowed to count for the leaderboard. we will post it up in there as well.
He wants to make sure he gets those participation points. Otherwise,
Well, that was his thing. I was there every night. I should have got more points. Right.
Yeah. You're there every night and you pick how many times people are racing. When the nights that Buddy wasn't there was like 60, 70 races. Yeah. You get all the 1 points.
Yeah. Yeah, see how it is. All tricks to trade,
Yeah.
Kotaku writes, EA cancels its big summer event. First, in case you didn't know, first kicking off in 2016, Electronic Arts has traditionally used the week of E3 in early June to hold its own EA Play Live event, during which the publisher would make many of its biggest announcements for the year. That's coming to an end in 2022. EA has decided to cancel this year's event in favor of what sounds like holding smaller showcases focused on each new and upcoming game individually. In a statement sent to IGN, the publisher said, "We love EA Play Live. It's our way of connecting with our players and sharing what's new with you all. However, this year things aren't lining up to show you everything on one date. We have exciting things happening at our world-class studios, and this year we'll reveal much more about these projects when the time is right for each of them. We look forward to spending time with you throughout the year." Do you think anyone's going to miss EA Play Live, Ash?
Not really.
No.
I mean, they were never the most riveting shows.
No.
Yeah, I don't think they ever... It was never like a showcase. It was like a full-on event. Or even when they were a part of E3, the EA one was kind of hit or miss most of the time. And I mean, they don't exactly have a lot that we could expect, like, down the pipeline. Like, apparently there's a Battlefield mobile game coming later out this year and an untitled Need for Speed game. Those are the only things listed for 2022. Dead Space obviously coming next year. And then obviously you got Dragon Age 4, Skate 4, Untitled Mass Effect game, Motive Studios game, Rush Art, that we know of that are coming in, obviously all the sports games.
Yeah.
And I guess whatever else Respawn's working on. But I feel like
it's like Apex or Respawn could nearly just do their own event now dedicated to a yearly major update to what's happening in the world of Apex. Or they could just do a major Respawn event to be like, here's our Star Wars thing, here's our Apex thing, here's our, whatever else thing. Like,
here's the not Titanfall thing. Yeah.
Yeah, here's the not Titanfall thing. Like, that's a half-hour show. They could do that by themselves. I swear the last EA Play Live was like...
Probably.
Whatever. Apex, what's Respawn doing?
Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, I don't feel like I'll miss it. I don't feel like... EA Play's never really had a massive successful show. I kind of miss their actual EA shows because they were such like wildfires of just like random shit. Like,
hey, let's bring out Ronaldo.
Yeah. It was always just weird.
No, it was Pele. Let's bring out Pele.
Yeah.
Just he's not really in the game, but
bring him out.
It's Pele.
That was probably the last E3. And I mean, in general, I kind of miss the actual E3 because when you think about those long nights and stupid schedules and just early mornings watching EA and or like watching EA and be like, I can kind of zone out here because they're talking about fucking FIFA, like just picking your spots and
I can have a micro nap. Yeah,
I can have a micro nap. Kind of miss that stuff. So, Starfield, press start. Sorry, fucking. I'll leave it in. I won't even cut it. Well played. One of the strange.
Aren't they the same thing?
No, yeah.
Don't they just share stuff at this point?
No, that's right. Sorry, Zach.
Interchangeable?
I'm not taking this out. Enjoy the meme. I think it's because I was looking at top and I have press start open on something else. Sorry, I mean I don't have press start open as well. I've only got well played open. Starfield, companions, dialogue systems, factions, and more have been detailed, writes Mr. Adam Ryan. Episode 2 of Into the Starfield series has been released, focusing on Starfield's companions, multiple factions, dialogue systems, and more, titled Made for Wanderers. This episode featured game director Todd Howard, sound director Emil Pagliario, lead quest designer Will Shen, and lead artist Isfan Pele, in a roundtable discussion about Bethesda Game Studio's upcoming RPG. It's a 5-minute video. It's not that far as like diving into the game goes, there are a couple, I guess, like I watched it and it feels like potentially they recorded a lot more and they've cut that out for like part 3 or whatever when that drops. Like, I'm like, there's no way they sat them down just to record a 10-minute, 15-minute conversation and cut it up into this 5-minute bit. But the main focus on what they sort of cover in the video is they talk about how large Starfield's going to be, which personally doesn't tick any boxes for me these days. Like, that's not a video game selling point, but I know some people still go on about that. They talk about the different choices and the starting points. They talk about several different, I think he lists them here somewhere. Here we go. Yeah. A large part of the discussion is centered around the way the player will engage with other characters in the world. Much of that engagement will revolve around factions within the game, including the United Colonies, who are a space republic, the Freestar Collective, a group living on the frontier, Ryujin Industries, a mega corporation, which you can be hired by at the start of the game, and last but not least, the Crimson Fleet, a group of intergalactic pirates. So the game has a bunch of what it sounds like different factions you could choose at the start of the game, which was reminding me, I haven't played it, but it reminded me of Cyberpunk.
It did. Yeah, that obviously that was a reasonably big selling point. Like, you get to pick the faction that you want to be getting started with, or like your background or whatever. So yeah, that definitely rings that bell. And probably, I feel like Cyberpunk is a game that we could bring up a lot with Starfield. It's like the
overpromising.
Yeah, just just be prepared.
Yeah. I mean, they're making a lot of promises here, which is typical of Bethesda. So it's like you sort of take everything with a grain of salt, especially when they're talking about the grandiose nature of their game and how how much it'll bring you into the game world and all this sort of shit. But yeah, I mean, that sounds cool. I do know one of the criticisms people had from Cyberpunk though was that no matter sort of what faction or area you took it all, you sort of just shoveled you back to the same area nonetheless. So I guess one thing Starfield could do differently is actually having very different like directions for the game to go depending on who you actually start as, instead of funneling you back into the main quest and direction the game has to go, sort of thing.
That's something I would believe that Bethesda would probably do, because what's it like? I'm trying to think of the Fallout 4 and Skyrim. They both their stories diverged a lot. So
yeah, and I mean, even if you think about like Fallout, like you come out of there's that whole thing is like you have the main quest. But so many people's different so many people have different Fallout experiences because they just ignore the main quest and they walk out of the bunker and they just beeline it to some weird direction.
Let's go to the furthest point I possibly can.
Yeah. And that's the other thing I'm still wondering about, like how this game, being as it's space, like are we driving around in spaceships? Are we just fast traveling? Like what's the go? There's a lot of questions. Yeah. They also
feels like a bit like KOTOR,
possibly. Yeah. Something. They talked a lot about companions too, so and how important they're going to be to the game. So you're still going to have them.
Shocker.
Yeah, although they never they're talking about companions being integral. I'm like, the last game that really did companions really well wasn't developed by you; it was developed by Obsidian.
Listen, it's as long as they give people same-sex relationships, then everybody be happy.
Shout out to our girl, Pravdi, whatever it was her name. Something like that, wasn't it? You know the one I mean?
Yes.
Starts with P.
I can't.
I swear to God. I swear it started with P. Yeah. I swear. Like, it's been a couple of years, so my memories are...
Yeah.
You double check that. And then the other thing they talked about is bringing back a morality system, a la like what they had in the Elder Scrolls Oblivion. So that means that instead of just like having conversations where you're like, yes, this will do that, or no, this will lead to that, it's more percentage chances, and you're doing these like mini games and conversations that lead to more natural conversations instead of just, hey, this is the evil thing, this is the bad thing, this thing has a 90% chance of success, this has a 10% chance. Like, it's a little bit more. They talked about a new version, so it's not the Oblivion system, but it is. That's the one they sort of brought up. You find an answer?
Yeah, Pravdi.
See, I was fucking.
Yep, voiced by Ashley Birch.
There you go. Yeah.
Which is what I typed in.
It's close, see.
Yeah.
So it's I'd say it's worth checking out if you have any interest in Starfield at all. Like my interest in the game's like pretty like like I'm still seeing. I haven't seen anything that has me excited. But you know, following along as someone who loved, you know, Fallout 3 and 4. And the bunch of obviously Skyrim and everything like that. So I have an interest in this. Hopefully it's been good. But yeah, there's some stuff they talk about here that's interesting. It's only 5 minutes, so but check it out if you want to hear more about what's sort of touched on here. I completely didn't realize they'd even done a first one of these. I don't know where I missed that. But apparently this is the second one.
Maybe that was the original trailer.
Maybe it was. I don't know if I missed the fucking memo there. Next thing I want to talk about or bring up, this is like sometimes where I'm like, man, this fucking game looks cool. I just want to get on here and be like, yeah, this game looks cool. So, but this game was announced during the Xbox showcase thing, Xbox Indie, whatever it's called.
ID at Xbox.
ID at Xbox. That's it. It's called WrestleQuest. That's right. Let's talk a little bit of wrestling for a hot moment here. So
finally,
finally
on an Explosion Network podcast, we can talk about some wrestling.
Finally. So it's a pixel art. Jesus Christ, pixel art even. RPG adventure game where you play as an upcoming wrestler called Randy Machacho Man Santos. Yeah, love to see it. Upcoming wrestler who's inspired by the greats of the 80s and 90s. So this game has like a deep love for the 80s and 90s and wrestlers. They got in the press release, they noted that they've got a bunch of classic licensed wrestlers in there. And licensed, I don't know if there's actually voicing or they've just got the permission to use the people's likeness. But they mentioned Randy Savage, Jeff Jarrett, Diamond Dallas Page, Booker T, and they mentioned many more will be coming. James Dagan, founder of Mega Cat Studios, the developer said, WrestleQuest captures the spirit and passion of wrestling through the lens of an unforgettable RPG experience. Many of the team at Mega Cat grew up watching wrestling and holds an undeniable nostalgic place for us. This game is a celebration of that world, complete with specifically licensed, especially fully licensed appearances by some of our favorite wrestlers from the 80s and 90s today. Yeah, this was one where it was like, when this popped up, I was like, I'm all about this. Like this is this is a pixel art game with such a style and like substance. Like it's an RPG, like turn-based thing where you're doing wrestler. Yeah. Did you check out the trailer for this? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I saw the trailer for this. It looks really cool. It's like a cool RPG take on like a sports-esque kind of story. I love I guess maybe like something like Golf Story or like that, but with like wrestling. Yeah. So as someone who loved like those sort of old school sports RPGs, like even like the Mario Tour Golf ones that would have like you build up your character in the career mode or whatever. I love those sort of things. So yeah, this seems right up my alley, like with the fun wrestling aesthetic and, you know, go to some sort of school, you learn how to wrestle matches. It's like, it feels like a big turn-based like sort of thing, and wrestling kind of fits like for a kind of RPG like kind of game.
Yeah, I'm very keen. I hope this turns out to be as good as it looks, because currently this is weirdly shot to like one of my most anticipated games of the year. I'm like, I didn't know I needed this, but it was one of those things where I'm watching the trailer, like, I need this in my life. Like,
yeah, why did no one think of this before?
Why has no one thought of this before? So yeah, I'm very keen for this. Check out the trailer for that one if you haven't seen it already, in case that like swept under your went under your radar. Of course, link to all this stuff we talked about in the show is always in the show notes, so check it out. WrestleQuest is coming to PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch some point this year. So wherever you want to play it, you can play it. It seems like a great Switch game, but I'll play it on PlayStation for trophies, obviously. Well played again. The Quarry is a new teen.
Which one?
Fucking. See, I can't live it down. This is why I couldn't edit her out, because you'd just make it a bit anyway. Adam Ryan again. The Quarry is a new teen horror game from Until Dawn developer Supermassive Games. Developer Supermassive Games and publisher 2K, that's right, 2K, has announced The Quarry, a new teen horror game coming to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series XS, Xbox One, and PC on July 10th. From the team behind Until Dawn and The Dark Pictures Anthology, The Quarry is a horror narrative experience that will see players make decisions both big and small that will change the outcome of the story. After all the kids leave summer camp at Hackett's Quarry, the 9 teenage counselors decide to throw a huge party that quickly turns sour. Pursued by crazed locals and an unseen horror, the teens are forced to think on their feet and make harsh decisions that could mean the difference between life and death. Featuring an absolutely stacked cast consisting of David Arquette, Ariel Winter, Justice Smith, Brenda Song, Lance Hendrickson, and Lynn Shay, among others, the Quarry is packed with recognizable and beloved horror icons. Now, I know this isn't anything you give two shits about, but did you watch the trailer at all?
Yes.
In a world where you haven't played any of these games, but you've probably seen trailers and heard like me and whoever else talk about them. What is your make of the Quarry? Because I guess the thing is, the major thing is, it's done by 2K. It is not connected to the Dark Pictures anthology. So do you think this looks different enough?
I think it does. I think obviously having like pretty much a full like cast of known actors is like it's pretty impressive. I'm sure they're not like A-list or like massive.
Hey,
no one is going to be like a. It's not like they got Jon Snow in the game or whatever. But it's pretty good. And it seems just from this trailer that it's going to be lengthier. Yeah, and obviously, but it definitely feels like the spiritual successor to Until Dawn, and that's what everybody's saying. So yeah, expect something similar to Wendigos at the end of the game. No, I don't know.
I fucking hope not. That was dumb. I didn't like that. I really like the trailer. Yeah, I'm all about it. I mean, it looks like a teen slasher. Definitely looks more in line with Until Dawn. I don't know if that's the sole reason they've sort of separated it or what have you. But I kind of like them being like, you know what, like the Dark Pictures anthology has a certain style or like idea in our mind as to what those games are, and we're going to go over here and make a deal with 2K to publish this completely different thing. So that's how I've ended up with the Quarry. Yeah, I'm keen. I think the cast looks great. Coming out of nowhere. I know they were teasing this throughout the week, and I kept being like, like maybe, like, because I've been like very hit or miss on those Dark Pictures ones, but yeah, I think this looks very good. The cast looks great. The settings, like, you know, typical throwback 80s slasher sort of setting. Got a bunch of counselors. You know, let's go. I'm keen to dive into this one. I do hope there's no major supernatural twist, but given the thing is like they've been chased by crazed people and something else, I'm like, there's going to be some fucking supernatural twist. It's hard to say because like technically Jason's supernatural, but I'm like, I just sometimes prefer. I just like just give me a classic sort of, you know, crazy motherfuckers in the wood trying to kill you. Like I don't need like monsters sometimes. Like I'm good. It's gonna be a werewolf, isn't it? It's gonna be a fucking werewolf. I don't know.
Nah, it's just gonna be. It looks like some weird like ancestral cult. You know, that's what it looks like. It's like, no, get off our lawn, young kids.
Other kids
can't have you around. Like Ted Raimi looks like some kind of cult figure.
Suits, I guess. IGN writes, since I'm basically tracking their collection as it goes now. Tencent acquires a majority stake in Rhyme developer Tequila Works. So George Yang over there writes, Tencent has been on a spree of acquiring or investing in game studios over the past few years. Now the Chinese tech giant has become the majority shareholder of the Spanish studio Tequila Works. The developer is known for games such as Rhyme, Guilt, The Sexy Brutale, and the upcoming Son of Nunu, a League of Legends story. In a statement, Tequila Works CEO Raul Rubio said, quote, for 12 years, the team at Tequila Works have passionately crafted high-quality titles that radiated our personal sensibilities, but there's a limit to how much you can grow by yourself. Rubio says Tencent is a partner that can appreciate the value of top creative talent from the originality as their banner. So yeah, this is like studio number fucking a billion at this point. We talked about their last acquisition, I feel, only a month ago. Was pointing out how their collection of studios is very weird. It's all over the place. I feel like this continues the trend of just being like
weird.
Why? But yeah, I know it's just there's not much to discuss other than the typical thing of like why, or you know, some people obviously have the whole hate Tencent because they got their pockets in everything sort of thing going. But yeah, just like if you want to keep track of what's going on with Tencent and who they're getting up next, it's Tequila Works for some reason.
I feel like there was somebody else they invested in this week.
It was like not games related, I don't think. It was like some other random company. I did see some story though.
Here we are. Studio Mayday rebrands as Riff Raff Games after investment from Tencent. So they did.
Isn't that New Zealand studio?
Yeah, that's a New Zealand studio.
Yeah. I missed this.
So I don't think they've actually put anything out yet.
Yeah.
They're currently working on 2 titles. Yeah. But, it's the studio was led by Joshua Boggs, who is best known for the 4 million selling Framed series.
Yeah, that's why I know that.
That's why, yeah. There we
go. Yeah, so again.
Yeah.
Random.
Tencent, yeah, random stuff.
Tencent's random. I don't know how this affects the Song of Nunu thing, but maybe it doesn't, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, they've got a second riot, so I mean
that's true actually. So maybe it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't. They're just gonna own it. They just gotta. Yeah, that's weird. By the way, this not video game related, but Riot put money in the animation studio for. I can't remember the animation studio.
We'll talk about it on this week's What Do You Want to Watch?
Okay, teaser.
They swept up. We swept up at the Annie Awards this week, so Arcane did. So
Arcane, there you
go. Which is obviously the big animation awards. So pretty cool.
Talking about
makes sense.
Awards. I chucked in here something after we started recording, so something in the show notes. But I just thought I'd mention I did watch the Streamer Awards, or like in the background. I chucked it on and watched through that. Did you see this event happened at all?
I did read about it, about a bunch of people like giving awards to their friends because all the streamers know each other.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what it was. I thought it's a pretty entertaining show. I feel like obviously you have to be aware who most of the people are to get some of the jokes and stuff. But just reading off this article here for people who think Spiel Times. The first Streamer Awards took place on March 12th. Twitch streamers Maya Higa and QT Cinderella Blair hosted the event. If you didn't get to tune into the live stream, you can watch the entire thing on QT Cinderella's YouTube channel. They had like awards like Best Battle Royale Streamer, MMORPG Streamer, Roleplay Streamer, First Person Shooter Streamer, Smash Bros Streamer, Chess Streamer, ASMR Streamer, which went to Emirath, Best Speedrunner, VTube Streamer, IRL Streamer, Music Streamer, League of Legends Streamer. They had a good mix of everything. In general, I thought it was pretty funny. As an award show, it's like, especially because it was put together by the two hosting it, and apparently mostly out of their own pocket, or like I guess they had sponsors and everything, so it's like I guess they funded it and then
shocker
put it out to try and get to the things. And the way they worked some of the ads in was quite funny. But I mean, if you don't give 2 shits about Twitch streamers, that's obviously it's not going to work for you. But yeah, I definitely checked it out, and just out of intrigue. And I thought it was a pretty decent show with no
cool,
major person running it or like sort of coordinating it. I felt like it all ran pretty smoothly. Yeah. There's some awkwardness to it, but it's like almost on purpose, like just playing up the whole thing. So
did anyone give a really good speech or?
No, but there's some funny speeches.
Okay.
There's some funny speeches. I can't remember
was there any massive snubs?
Fucked if I know.
Was anybody robbed?
I was fucked if I care enough about Twitch streamers to know who was snubbed or not. I knew who the majority of the people were, I guess, which would maybe not feel as old as I do sometimes, but that was the one win I took away. But because sometimes Kieran comes in here, he's mentioned all these people. I'm like, I don't know if I can.
It's like Blocky, Bob, and
I was like, I don't know.
Sid's Sudeikis, or I don't know.
Most of the people were big enough that I'm like, I know who they are. Like the majority.
Cutie butts. Kieran just. I think half the time Kieran's making them up.
He's making up names. Yeah, I don't know. There was I can't remember what award it was, and I can't remember which streamer it was, but actually I think it was Seer for winning best roleplay streamer. He came up and like did the Kanye speech from like he won the first when Kanye won the first Grammy, where he comes up and he's like, people were asking me what would happen if I didn't win this award. Guess we'll never know. And then I walked off. So I was like, that was pretty good. I appreciate it. All right, and then finally on the show this week, let's talk a little bit about Pokemon, because I've finally finished, quote unquote. I really don't feel like I have, to be honest, but Pokemon Legends Arceus. Arceus. That video game. It's very good. I'm very much been enjoying it. I've been playing it like on and off since release, obviously, and I talked about it on here the first week it came out or whatever. But here and there, I've dropped in and out depending on how much I got going on. But it's very good. I've discovered it's a very good video game that you can pick up for 5-10 minutes at a time. Like I never feel like I'm lost. Never feel like I'm forgetting what I'm doing. Like it's not like what's the controls? Throw Pokeballs, do battles. Like it's very good. I can just pick up and do for time. So that's sort of how I've been doing it. But the cool thing I discovered, by the time I finish this game, I've decided I'm way more excited for that anime series. You know how they announced that anime series that's going to be based in this world and timeline? Because I was not completely. And look, to be fair, the reason I'm joking about not having finished it is because by the time I rolled credits, you come back into the game, and I don't know if this counts as a spoiler or not, so skip ahead 30 seconds if you don't want a Pokemon spoiler. But by the time you finish the game, you don't actually come face to face with Arceus at all. And at the end of the game, you're like, man, we've got to get to that, hey. I'm like, okay, so it's like a post-game thing, but wrap up the main game plot. But from everything that's story-wise told to you, and this is probably one of the most story-heavy Pokemon games. I mean, the first hour is just a lot of text, tutorials and text and world building and all this sort of shit. It has such like a cool world, but the game never sort of fulfills it. Like it never fully gave me everything I wanted from this world, and it probably was never going to be honest. But there's so much intrigue I have in this timeline, in this world now, by the time I finish the game, that it's just made me go, cool. I'm totally excited, like legit excited now, for that anime series to actually drop. Because I mean, I watch some of the Pokemon movies when they release. I don't watch the show. I'm like, I don't have time to keep up with fucking 20-minute Pokemon episodes every week. Like, that's not something I can fit into my schedule. I watch the movies when they drop, because you can sort of come into those and it's like, whatever, Ash's new town, here's the Pokemon he's got. They're mostly standalone. You're good to go. Yeah, I'm totally sort of about this anime series now based on the world that's set up here. The combat was the other thing I was I think when I talked about it last, and the first time I talked about it, I was saying, I don't know how much I talked about the combat, the general just turn-based combat. But the thing I decided by the time I reached the end of the game is that the Brave default system, or whatever, which is more or less what it is, but the system in this game where you can choose to have Pokemon do attacks faster for less damage to try and like get a second attack in, or do a heavier version of attack for more damage, but potentially your opponent gets to attack twice. It seems really cool at the start of the game, but by the end of the game, it just turns into everyone just one-shotting each other. Like, you'll be versing someone, and they'll be like, strong version of this attack, instantly kill your Pokemon. You throw enough Pokemon, strong version of your attack, kill their Pokemon. Like, it seems to just turn into, like, rock, paper, scissors, who wins, not really, like, typical Pokemon battles. So, yeah, but by the end of the game, I've decided I don't actually really like that system. There's, like, a whole weird randomness to it at times, it just doesn't, like, it more or less negates any reason to use anything that isn't just a big strong attack. Like, at least in a normal Pokemon game, you would, if you ever did like a hard battle, you like go into the battle, you can use like a buff attack, raise your attack speed, raise your critical speed, whatever, something like that, raise your stats, and then you can use a turn on that. Your opponent will attack, maybe you lose half your health, but then because you buffed yourself, then you kill them. Like, there's tactics to it. Whereas this is like, there's no point using any of those at all. It's just like, just attack. So, I don't know. Weird. I don't know if anyone would agree with me, but weird side note. Another thing I really got into is, and again, I don't know how much counts as spoilers for this game, so maybe I won't cover everything. But, like, I don't think it's a spoiler to say, obviously, you get a Pokemon early that you can ride around on, and that's cool. But some of the other things you get to do, obviously you've seen it in the trailer, like you get to swim along, like you get to go in the ocean. I think it's called like Basculon. It's like a new version of Basculin, whatever the Pokemon is, which is a shitty Pokemon no one gives two fucks about. So like, here, have a new version that you can ride around on. I'm like, cool. That's pretty cool. And then some other stuff you get to do as well. There's particularly, I don't know, like there's a Pokemon, I won't say what in case it's a spoiler, I guess, but there's a Pokemon that like lets you climb up walls. and I was like, that's cool. It's like the most random ass looking animation of like how this Pokemon carries you up cliff sides. It's just like the most random shit. But I'm like all about this. So I really enjoyed my time with it, and I'm probably just going to keep playing it at this stage. Like, I don't mean like hardcore, I'm off to go play Pokemon, but like I'm happy to keep chugging along trying to complete that Pokedex in that game. I would definitely say it's the Pokemon game I've enjoyed playing the most in years, just because of how different it was and the freedom of choice and just the ability, like the mix up, I guess, between gaming elements. Like, you're not always battling, you're not always just catching. Like, you can run around and just try and sneak up behind Pokemon and just try and catch them that way by throwing Pokeballs and berries at them and stuff like that. Or you can just run up and just throw a Pokemon in their face and just try and battle them down old school style and catch them that way. But yeah, there's also just like a sense of wonder and a sense of like being scared in this game that other Pokemon games haven't given me. Like, I've like come around a corner to see a what the fuck do they call them in this game? I can't remember. Like, there's like bigger versions of Pokemon where they're like got like red eyes, they're like infected or whatever. Walk around a corner and see something like a big big like Heracross or some shit like that, and I'm like, nope. like a big ass version. I'm like, nah, I'm out. Walk away. Or like other times where I've got like super excited about seeing a Pokemon in this game, which I didn't know was in it or not, and be like, oh my god, I want to go catch that. It's like one of my favorite Pokemon. And just like being like super sneaky, just like creeping up on it, wanting to catch it. So yeah, Pokemon Legends Arceus, good shit in my opinion. Especially if you are someone who's sort of drowned out on the Pokemons this year. I can't remember what Jacob gave it, like an 8.5, I think, was what his score for us was.
I think so, yeah.
I think I'd be around that. I think I'd be maybe slightly lower. I think I'd probably be an 8, but I can totally see an 8.5 as sort of a thing if I was to score it based at where I'm at. Obviously, I don't want to cover it all because it's like, oh, everyone complains about it for this game, but yeah, the Switch does hold it back in areas, whatever. That's just the way it is. I feel like the game's fun enough that it honestly doesn't bother me. Like, it's a factor, but when I'm playing it, I'm not really thinking about it. Like, if you were to record gameplay and look at the frame rate of some Pokemon and all that sort of shit, sure. There are times where the pop-in of certain textures and stuff is affected, and yeah, there are times where I'm like, oof. But for the most part, I really, none of it super bothered me. I would say the coming off like Horizon and Forbidden West, and then you're playing this, and the open world's like just so much more barren and less detailed and stuff. So that's the other thing and I'm not saying this should look like Horizon, but you do, obviously that's the other thing where I'm like, man, I don't know, like a little bit more detail, a little bit more variety to what's going on around here would be good. But yeah, Pokemon Legends Arceus. And that will do it for this week's episode of Arcade Couch. Let us know any comments, questions, or concerns you have about this week's show, even by tweeting at us, explosionnetwork.com/Twitter, join Discord, explosionnetwork.com/Discord. And if you like this episode and thought it was worth $1, head on over to explosionnetwork.com/support to buy us a coffee. And until next week, same time, same couch. Bye.